All right, next up we got a couple more videos to watch. This one says, my questions are all about technique. I know my biggest problem is weak quads and squat morning squats. I've been working on that. Now I feel like it's getting better, but I still notice my knees giving in. Maybe I should narrow my stance, or what would be the best option? So let's go ahead and check out your video here and see what we can see. I mean, so far, yeah, I definitely see that your knees are collapsing in. Um, it's not to the point where I feel like it would be a problem. It's definitely a thing that you should focus on, especially in your lower volume or your lower intensity back off work. Focus on shoving your knees out. I don't think it's a problem that needs fixing in the sense that you need to lower the weight or anything like that in order to fix it. I think you can continue focusing on building your strength, continue focusing on adding more weight to the bar. It's just that you should also concentrate on shoving your knees out and performing the lift with a little bit more technical perfection. It does seem to happen a little bit more as you get fatigued as the set wears on, but that's not terribly uncommon. Everything else that I see technically in this video looks pretty solid. I don't have much in the way of complaint on this video, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Go ahead and get this one started. But the question here is that I've been doing the benches as written, but I feel like it's as hard as it was a month ago. I don't feel like the volume is the problem since I feel fresh and well recovered, but maybe the exercise selection could have some alternations. My close grip bench is pretty much the same as my comp bench, paused or touch and go, but my incline bench and military press are super weak. Should I do more of them instead of floor presses, pin presses, and so on, or maybe it's a technique problem? All right. From what I see here, I don't see that your technique is holding you back. I think that maybe if you were to, it looks like as the reps wear on, you flatten out a little bit. And I think if you were to minimize that or improve on that, then your bench is going to improve. But I don't think you're doing anything that's like wrong or dangerous or anything like that. In terms of exercise selection, this one is not really an ideal video for us to do weakness analysis on. If you have like a single, especially a heavier single, something that you struggle with, that would be useful in terms of determining your weak range of motion, weak muscle groups, and so on. In terms of noticing that your incline and your overhead pressing are weak, that also doesn't really mean a whole lot at this stage. It could be nothing, but the incline in the military are supposed to be a little bit weaker, and it's hard to tell, how much weaker you're talking about and whether or not it's okay, etc. I don't see anything that really indicates a notable weakness in this one. Like you're not squishing off the chest. Your bar path could be a little bit better. Try to get that bar back over your shoulders soon after you press it off your chest. Greg Nuckols has a really good article on this. The bar path isn't a straight line up. It's not even an arc back toward the rack. The ideal bar path here, and you can see it on your last rep. You bring it back over your shoulders and then it's straight up at the end. What I would say to you is exaggerate that a bit more. Get that bar back over your shoulders a touch earlier, and I think your bench is going to improve based on that. In terms of bar path fixing, you're going to want to address that from a couple different levels. First is the competition exercise. You're going to want to practice doing it correctly. Practice the correct bar path for every rep. It's a lot easier to do for your high RPE movements. for your high RPE pressing. So keep that in mind. In terms of assistance exercises, then we do see some benefit to doing things like incline benching, incline pin pressing. I wouldn't necessarily get rid of the floor press, but your bottom focused assistance exercises. So things that are in that slot typically are things like 2-count pause bench, pin press, and things like that. You can sub some of those out and include more incline pin press from a flat position, etc. All those things tend to help with your bar path. Even a shallow incline, something like 15 to 20 degrees, can be helpful in terms of bar path as well. When it comes to your supplemental exercises, keep training shoulders. So keep that overhead pressing in there. I wouldn't change much about your supplemental exercises until we can get a better weakness analysis done, because having a good mix of chest training plus shoulders training is going to be beneficial for you. So hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, thanks for sending that in. Let me know if you have any additional questions.